Hello, and thank you for visiting Graphene Business Law. If you're finding us on YouTube, please go ahead and click on the red subscribe button down below, and don't forget to like these videos. We are a business law firm located in Toronto, Ontario. Happy to service clients in the Toronto and Greater Toronto area as well with any matters pertaining to your business, whether it's launching, growing, or concluding your business. Today, I wanted to actually orient the video more toward our law student demographic. Being in law school is never easy, and one of the main questions that students would ask each other is, where should I practice? For those that weren't keen on that one city specifically, or I remember in law school some students were keen on practicing, on one street in one city or in one neighborhood in one city. But the question still remained for many students, where should I practice? And today I kind of wanted to go over a few things to keep in mind when deciding something as significant as where one should practice, because for some it can involve quite the journey. Now, there's a few ways through which you can orient that decision of where you practice. Certainly there's the clientele you seek to pursue, and by that I mean the matters you'd like to work on. And there's lifestyle considerations for yourself as well. It's not uncommon. A lot of students can even have families, or they could be mature students further down, further in their journey, and looking for certain aspects when it comes to lifestyle that the city they're practicing in can provide. So I think those are two good places to start. And of course, there's that third bucket of, I'm young, so why not? The why not bucket. And I'll save that one for last. I think, so starting with the cities or with the clientele you'd like to focus on. Now, I've noticed in my own experience and in my own years of practice that the place we can be in can affect the kind of matters we're working on. And what do I mean by this? I don't think it'll be controversial to say that in a large cosmopolitan area such as Toronto or Vancouver, or certainly Montreal as well, but I'll stick to common law jurisdictions for the purpose of this video. I know Quebec does some civil law in Canada as well. So in places like Toronto or Vancouver, we have such a large number of people living here. And wherever people live, problems follow. So if you're looking to practice somewhere where you'll touch a bit of everything, or really importantly, if you're looking to practice a really niche area, within a really niche area of law, the larger cities can be that place for you. What do I mean? And I'll give the contra example, if you will. I remember being in a small city in Ontario, or smaller. The city's called Brantford, and I was in court there. I think certainly some sort of corporate matter, but a corporate matter that touched a bit on family as well, family matters. And I spoke to one of the litigators in court, and just general questions about their practice, the kind of work, the kind of litigation they take on. And he told me that, he said, guess how many civil litigators there are in Brantford. And the population of the city of Brantford, don't quote me, but I think is around 1 to 150,000 people. So, it's not 3 people living there. And I guessed, maybe 100 or 200 litigators. And he said, there's 6 of us. So that is certainly going to impact the kind of files he's taking. He can certainly, put up that shingle on his door saying that he's taking only one kind of litigation file. Nothing precludes him from doing so. However, regardless of what he decides to take on, the chances of all sorts of different matters coming to him, those chances are really high. Within his bigger picture, civil litigation, which does include, family and business and even personal injury. So that's another consideration, and that's almost an exception to the rule that when you're in a larger city, you can do a bit of everything. And more what I meant by that is that you can specialize within a bit of everything in a larger city, whether it's commercial real estate or cannabis law or a very specific type of family law proceeding you'd like to specialize in. In the larger city, you are more likely to come across those opportunities because it is more likely that, owing to the volume of persons in that larger city, that same issue comes up more than in a city of lower population. I mean, that's just mathematical at that point. However, in a smaller city or town, whatever the technicality may be, you are more likely to come across all sorts of matters that you actually have to work on, or that you might actually be required to help with based on the demographic around you. So those are things to keep in mind in terms of who you'd like to be and the practitioner you'd like to be as well, and the matters you'd like to occupy your time with. We only get to do this thing once, so you might as well think before you get there as to what you would really like to spend your time on. And there are no wrong decisions, because what can be right to me would be wrong to you, and vice versa. So the only thing that matters, I would say, is that you've thought about these things and made a decision, some sort of decision for yourself. And, of course, there's in between towns that are neither the smallest or the biggest there. So they could provide some hybrid of what I'm saying here. However, for the purpose of being specific and hopefully somewhat helpful to law students watching this video, I think that's one thing to keep in mind as pertains to larger cities versus smaller cities. And there is nothing wrong, even if you're going to school in one of the larger cities right now, to branch out into the smaller cities, get some expertise in everything, and then you can pick what you'd like to focus on, and maybe that's when you head into a bigger city. There are so many ways to embark on that journey. Just keep in mind what you're likely to come across once you get to a certain locale. So that was a conversation based more on what you'd like to practice. Okay, that's something that's really important. Now, this next bit of the conversation, as I mentioned in the beginning, is based more off of lifestyle. And I'll tell you, as a lawyer now of a few years, there are things that I see around me that I might not necessarily have picked up on as a law student. I find that, certain law schools did put pressure on the collective, and I don't mean the institution itself, just being in that setting puts pressure on the collective student body to maybe pursue a career within a specific city, or I mentioned in the beginning, even a specific street within a specific city. And a lot of us are really young when we go to law school. I was really young when I started law school. And you hear something that you believe comes from somewhat of a reputable source, or you hear something that is coming from so many mouths that you believe it. So it's important, I think, the sooner in one's life that they can start to think big picture outside of what they're hearing every single day. I think that's a really important skill, and certainly really important for lawyers as well in our practice. But going back to the thread of lifestyle, I've been very fortunate to travel across all of Canada at this point, honestly, all of the provinces. And I can tell you that although Graphene is based in Toronto, there are some cities, towns, hamlets even that I travel to sometimes for leisure that I close my eyes and I think, wow, wouldn't it be nice? And those places vary in size, but what makes me go to that wouldn't it be nice place is the lifestyle that I see in those places. And I'll start with one of them right off the bat, is Victoria, British Columbia. That city is just its own version of heaven on earth. If you've never been there, you should be there. You should go there. You should at least Google it if you've never heard of it following this video. But that's a very temperate place in Canada that is surrounded by oceans and the most lush and gorgeous nature. The people are incredibly friendly, noticeably so, if you ask me, compared to other places in Canada, including some of the cities we discussed earlier in this video. And the food is just amazing. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful place. And actually, it's one of those places where some of these places are better if you have a family, for example, because it gives your kids something to do. But Victoria is one of those places. It does not matter who you are, your family status, anything. You are just better off by breathing in that fresh air. And Victoria is surrounded by so many other smaller cities on the island that actually there is quite a bit of population to work with as well. Again, it's not that small town of 3 people on the island. So there are plenty of opportunities. There are some even, you know, similar to what I mentioned at the beginning, of opportunities you'd find in larger cities, but the lifestyle is incredible. With that jump, if you're a student watching this in Ontario, for example, you're thinking, oh great, you know, the bar exam is going to come to mind, because that, you know, is jurisdictional for us in Canada, in the States, and in many other countries as well, by the way, but it is jurisdictional for us in Canada based on province. And you might be thinking, you know, well, how do okay, I've just gone to law school in Toronto, and now, you know, Victoria, uproot my entire life to live on the island and this and that. You know, it really isn't that difficult logistically if you are that kind of person that you are lifestyle driven. And that's what these cities that I'm mentioning are. One of these lifestyle driven cities is actually, I think the next two are much, much smaller than Victoria. So, you know, be alert as to whether that's your kind of thing or not. But another just gorgeous, amazing small town I've noticed in my travels was Jasper, Alberta. I'm inclined to say Jasper, BC, because I think it's somewhat close to the border on the Rockies, but Jasper, Alberta. Beautiful, gorgeous, amazing place. The nature, the air, the mountain views, although I don't think I've ever taken 2 vertical steps on a mountain. Some people are into that kind of thing, but just looking at them is something that I do believe impacts lifestyle. And Jasper is at such a high point of elevation that takes its own toll, you know, scientifically as well, on the air we breathe and on the lifestyle we lead. The animal life is incredible. I remember just pulling over, parking, you know, anywhere in town, and there'll be these big caribou coming to you within a matter of minutes, if not seconds. And certainly Jasper itself, I think, is the 2nd largest dark zone in the entire world, as a park within the city, or perhaps as the city is within the park, Jasper Park. But that lends itself to untouched, incredible nature. And I remember, you know, I've seen Banff and I've seen similarly spirited places in Alberta, and Jasper is just a knockout. It's an incredible place for those that are lifestyle driven, especially when it comes to more of a winter lifestyle. Victoria, to give you guys a bit of variety, I've provided that city. It's more of a milder weather lifestyle within the city, at least. But Jasper is a cold but gorgeous, incredible place. So that could be, you know, that could be something to consider. And then on the East Coast, there's, out of all places, there's a place called Digby in Nova Scotia. I think it's about 2 hours drive from Halifax. Digby is the smallest of the 3 places I've mentioned in terms of lifestyle. And Jasper, I think population might be around 4,000 or 5,000, you know, actual residents. I know tourism is big there, but residents might be around there. And Digby, again, don't quote me, this is not a National Geographic video, but Digby, I think, hovers at around 2,000 to 3,000, and just a wonderful place. It's actually on the Bay of Fundy, which is a bit of a world wonder. It's the world highest tide coming up and down. It's the best city in the world for scallops. It It just has the most gorgeous sunsets. You're about 2 hours from Halifax, so there are, you know, bigger cities, especially at the end of the day, this is a law-oriented video. You know, there's going to be the larger courtrooms and courthouses and opportunities not too far away. And I mean, in today's remote world, maybe your entire clientele can be from Halifax while you're working in Digby, who knows? But just another beautiful place if we're talking lifestyle driven decisions. So I want to pause there because lifestyle and client-based or area of practice can be, those two decisions or those two criteria can lead us to look for work in different cities or in different, you know, locations, but not always. So just something for you to reflect on, again, on what you wish to do, on where you wish to settle yourself, on the opportunities. You know, sometimes we do come across opportunities, but a lot of times life is about opportunities we're creating for ourselves by being at a certain place at a certain time and being there in a manner that's planned and thought through. So just giving some content to think through for the students, for the law students watching this video. And if you're not a law student watching this video, well, we've had a chance to talk about, you know, some of the most beautiful places and amazing places in Canada together. I mentioned at the beginning, my last bucket of category almost is that what if, or yeah, maybe what if category. And that category is a nod again to the fact that I know I'm a lawyer watching this video, but I'm also a human being who can, you know, probably relate to everyone watching the video in some way because of our shared experiences in this life. And I do think as people, we all have that what if voice at the back of our head, some more than others. And, you know, if you want to pull the trigger on that what if I do this crazy thing for 6 months or 1-year contract or whatever the case may be, I mean, that opens you up to anything and everything in the world. You can take a contract outside of Canada to the States. You can take a contract outside of our continent to South America, to Europe, you know, Africa, whatever the case may be, Asia. Now I have to list all the continents, Australia, Antarctica. You know, you can take a contract anywhere, but I do think that if you have that in you, that what if voice, pursue what makes you the happiest. It doesn't take long for the years in practice to pile up, and while that's an amazing thing professionally speaking, and I can attest to that, how much more we learn and we understand, and it's an incredible feeling professionally. On the other side of your years of practice or call to the bar rolling forward is your years of life rolling forward. So if that what if voice matters to you, you know, so many people work all year to go somewhere for 2 weeks. Just go to that place for longer if that's your what if place, and, you know, make good use of your legal degree, hopefully, but immerse yourself in that place and give yourself the time to be there and experience that, and then you can come back and I guess roll through criteria A or B that I'd provided earlier, type of law you'd like to practice or lifestyle you'd like to lead. So I'll pause there. I'll probably even conclude there because I don't want this video to get crazy long. I just know that law school can be a really confusing time, and sometimes a lot of voices are singing the same tune, and sometimes there aren't any voices at all when you need it the most. So I wanted to put this video out there. I know 1Ls are 1 semester in at this point in the year, and certainly same chronology for 2 and 3Ls. And I encourage, the same way I encourage my clients to be thoughtful about next steps in the proceedings I'd like us to embark on together, and thoughtful about the process they're involved in, because I do believe it leads to more meaningful results. I would encourage a student watching this video the same. that graduation date, that bar exam date, those dates are going to roll around really soon. And there can be some excitement that we're sort of swirling within during these dates because they're so consecutive and they're so close together. Graduation, bar exam, articling, finishing articling, first court appearance in articling, I guess if you're lucky these days, or first big contract we get to draft. But as I mentioned, on the other side of that is the years of your life rolling by. So, you know, not to end on too heavy a note, but that's what it is. So I'll pause there. I'll probably be doing some more student videos later because I've received, you know, I do receive some emails from students having questions like this, and it's wonderful to help one student by answering an email. But if this video can be watched by even 2 students, it's doubled its impact. So thank you for watching. For potential clients or that watch this video, thank you for watching as well. And certainly please contact Graphene at any time you're looking for legal assistance with a business matter. Our email, info@graphenebusinesslaw.ca, our website, graphenebusinesslaw.ca, and certainly on YouTube, Graphene Business Law, on Instagram, I believe it's Graphene Business Law as well. So reach out to us. We're here and we're happy to help with any of your business law matters, whether you're a small or medium-sized business, entrepreneur or business owner or operator, whatever the case may be, we're here and we're prepared to help. So thank you for watching.